Wait. Welcome to the Digital Forensics Now podcast. Today is Thursday, spooky October 30th, 2025. My name is Alexis the Scream Briggs Brignoni, and I'm accompanied by my co-host, the ghost to my haunt, the vampire to my bat, the Frankenstein to my monster, the scary, spooky, and always kooky Heather Charpentier. The music is Higher Up by Shane Ivers and can be found at silvermansound.com. Yeah.
Oh my god.
I don't know if that even made it. The audio made it with this thing.
You're awfully spooky. You sounded really muffled.
I know. I'm gonna. So the folks that are listening, I had a scream mask on because it's Halloween. Tomorrow. Wait, let me put my hat on. So let me say the intro because with that mask, I bet nobody heard it. I said, I'm accompanied by my co-host, the ghost to my haunt, the vampire to my bat, the Frankenstein to my monster, the scary, spooky, and always kooky Heather Charpentier.
Oh
there we go.
Gosh. And he came up with that like 10 seconds ago.
It's a little burst of creativity after I had a dose of Oreo cookies to get some sugar in my system. now I'm hyper.
Oh my gosh. I did not dress up for Halloween, but I do have an orange shirt on, so I'm just going as a pumpkin.
The great pumpkin, like
Yes.
the peanuts.
Yes.
Yeah. No, yeah. See, I like my scream mask because it's like rhinestones. It's like fancy and whatnot.
Are you wearing that out trick-or-treating tomorrow?
No, actually, I'm gonna be dressed out as Bruno from the Encanto movie.
Oh, okay.
So we don't talk about me, Get it?
Nope, I've never seen it.
Oh well, I'm not surprised. People might be surprised that you're not cultured like that watching Disney movies, but I'm not surprised.
I watched the old Disney movies, like the 1970s, 80s, 90s ones.
Yeah, when you were in your 20s, I get it. But either way, it's a great movie. Encanto's a great movie. So I'm gonna be dressed as Bruno. So I'll have the pictures for the next episode, so we can.
there we go.
You can all laugh on my wig. It'll be great.
So what's been going on?
So on my end, a lot of stuff, a lot of work, but something cool that happened. Let me put this up on the screen. What I have there is me sitting at this little stage with the awesome Scott Tucker, really an expert. He works mostly civil cases. Fantastic. We had a little debate at the Oxygen Forensics, and I have here a little wolf, for the Oxygen folks. Yeah, they were in town not too long ago, and they had their conference, Legacy. What was it? Legacy and Logic conference for 2025, and they had us debate a little bit on AI. Obviously, I was on the AI not so good side.
No, you were not.
I just told people that AI is an insult to life, but other than that, I was pretty civil.
Oh my gosh, I think you're quoted saying that on several different platforms, so I saw it.
An insult to life itself. It's not even my. I didn't come up with it. It was Hayao Miyazaki, the guy from the cartoons, the anime cartoons. Anyways, the point is that it was a great debate, and again, really really nice. We had a good exchange of ideas on what the limits of AI are, and some of the benefits as well. And some of the procedural things we need to possibly be aware, and some areas of disagreement in regards to the use, misuse, and all those functions. So that's pretty neat. Awesome. How about you? What did you do since last time we were here?
Honestly, not much. I think I'm still sulking because I'm not on vacation anymore. I think that's what I've been doing since the last podcast. I showed all my cute animals I got to go see the last podcast, and I literally have just been upset about not being there.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
Yeah. But nothing major, just hanging around, going to work, coming home.
Getting ready for winter.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's freezing here. It was like 26 degrees when I went to work the other morning, so it's cold already.
Well, it's getting cold down here in Florida as well. Like I mean, not horrible freezing temperatures like you, but it's getting colder here as well. So
It made it down to like 75.
Actually, it was 50 this morning, and
Oh.
I'm like, this is ridiculous.
Did you have your parka on?
I have my Eskimo suit on.
There you go. There
Even-
you go.
Even the UGG boots.
Oh my gosh.
Wait. Just to make it clear, I do not owe any UGG boots. Okay, just saying.
We all just visualized it though. So in our minds, you do.
All right, so before we start, I'm gonna say a few hi's to Christian is hanging out here, so I'm happy he's here. We're gonna talk about
Hey.
a great addition to open source software, so we're gonna talk about that. Kevin is there. I know he liked my mask. Forensics with Matt is there. Natswami from Twitter, so good to have you here.
Yeah.
And let's start the show. What do we have?
Let's do it. So, wanted to mention that the Celebrate CTF was just the last week or so, and I did not play this time. However, I was watching all of the great comments in the Discord on the CTF challenge. Some really funny, good questions. But I want to just put up the winning team. I stole this from Celebrate's LinkedIn page. The winning teams are there, so congratulations to all the winning teams. And then just kind of wanted to do like a little PSA for everybody who missed out on the CTF or maybe just wants access to the images afterwards. Watch for all of the great bloggers because they'll be writing blogs about how they came to the correct answers for the questions on the CTF. And you always have the chance to to do the CTF after it's done at your own pace as well.
Oh, I love how the teams from the Pacific, right, did so well. Thailand and Singapore, even the individuals and winning teams, they did awesome. We got Romania up there on their individual number 1, so that's pretty cool. And then representative from the US as well, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely. Let me take that down. All right. Wanted to mention a couple of scholarships that are available if anybody's looking to go to training but maybe doesn't have the budget for the training. The IASIS scholarships are up and active again this year. There's 2, the Will Dokken Scholarship and the Women in Law Enforcement Scholarship. For the Will Dokken, the scholarship will cover the course tuition, and the recipient will be furnished with all the course materials, equipment, hotel accommodations, everything at no cost. To qualify for the scholarship, the applicant must be employed by a city, county, or state law enforcement agency to conduct digital forensic examinations, and the agency cannot have more than 2 personnel, including full-time, part-time, temporary, or flexible, assigned to conduct digital forensic examinations. So the application period is open now, and it's listed through November 30th. And then the Women in Law Enforcement Scholarship covers the registration fee for IASIS, and then that is funded by Edith Santos. And then there are additional donors that are going to support up to $3,000 for travel expenses, so your flight, your accommodations, your per diem, and then access to digital forensic software packages for the recipient of that scholarship. Applicant must be female, working in a law enforcement agency, sworn or civilian. So you don't have to be sworn or civilian for that one. And then that is also open through November 30th.
Oh, that's awesome. Apply for that. Hopefully you get it. We, as full disclosure, we're volunteers as well for IASIS, and we teach the Advanced Mobile Device Forensics course. And we believe in the IASIS mission and the content. We know that that's really good, so it'll be a great benefit. And if you have a way of going there without needing a scholarship, then take advantage of that. It's a great opportunity to learn, and also a great time to network. And you end up meeting awesome people like Heather here.
Oh yeah, and awesome people like Alexis here.
Oh, and I don't know if I fit in the definition, but it's okay. You'll meet me as well.
Kind of along the same lines, some training opportunities. So Alexis was just talking about IASIS. Those 2 scholarships that I mentioned are for the event in April in Orlando. But there is also an event this year in January in Reno. And just wanted to give a reminder that specialized classes, so not the BCFE class, all of the specialized classes are going to be running an event for a week in January in Reno. So if anybody is looking to register, the registration is still open, and another chance to meet us. You can come hang out. Let's learn forensics together.
No, yeah. I mean, you'll hear me rant about data structures, which is always fun. So come on over.
I'll try and keep his AI rants to a minimum. I promise, for whoever wants to sign up.
We'll do those in the breaks,
yes.
and maybe at lunch or after hours.
Well, there's always at least the one student that is like, AI can do this for me, right? So you can have a debate with Alexis at lunchtime.
You see the smoke from my ears coming out in the back.
Another training opportunity I wanted to mention, but first, full disclosure, I do currently work for Hexordia as a contract trainer. I have been doing my co-teaches so that I can be a part-time teacher for Hexordia. But I did want to mention one of the classes that Hexordia is providing. So I recently had the privilege to attend the very first Hexordia Expert Witness Testimony class. We did it online. It is taught by an instructor, two instructors, and one is an attorney. So we have law enforcement and attorney both teaching the Expert Witness Testimony class. It was a great class, in my opinion. We went through like all of the different types of hearings and court attire and court etiquette and everything you can think of court, types of things that you might run into as a digital forensic analyst up on the stand. And then at the very end, we did a moot court or mock trial. I just really think that is very beneficial for people in the digital forensics field, especially if you're new to this and you've never testified. It really gives you an idea of what types of questions you might be asked and kind of how to conduct yourself at a trial.
There is such a need for this type of expert witness courses and with a moot court component.
Yes.
We have, I say we in the context of the full community, we train folks and then we expect them to be good at trial, at presenting. Yeah. And you're like, well, I took 20 hours of this, 30 hours of that, and how to use this tool, how to use that tool. Mm-hmm. Well, have you ever experienced a courtroom? No. Have you ever been inside of one? Do you know where you go and sit? Do you know where you testify? Well, I saw it on TV. Mm-hmm. I don't think that cuts it, right?
It is not the same.
So having courses that do that, that kind of expose you to that environment and what are the best practices in order to present. Because again, when we discuss the show, you can have the best arguments, all the factual items on your side. And if you're not able to convey it clearly and in a credible manner so that the jury can not only understand it, but believe you, then you're gonna fail at the mission. So highly recommended to look for those classes. It could be Hexordia's or any others. If you hear of any others, let us know, and we'll be happy to also make him known to the community.
Yeah, I have actually seen one on NW3C's website, but I haven't seen any dates for it up there yet. So hopefully they'll run theirs again as well. Just one more thing on that. So when I very first started in forensics in 2015, Lieutenant calls me in and is like, okay, what type of training do you want? And my number one was, I want some kind of training in how to testify. And he's like, oh yeah, we'll find you something. There was nothing that I know of. And I don't know if they actually looked for anything for me, but I didn't get the training. And I went for one of my very first trials, a homicide trial. And I got there and I had no idea what I was doing. And the prosecutor was an old man and he was so nice, but he handed me a page of questions he wanted to ask me from a Wikipedia page that was not meant for a mobile device examination whatsoever. And I immediately panicked and had to sit down and write my own questions. So training in that would have been helpful before I sat down and wrote my own questions.
Well, I mean, the fact that you have to write your own questions, people will be like, what? That's actually not that uncommon.
No, it's not.
I mean, you're the technical expert, right? So you kind of tell your stakeholders, your investigators, and let's say your prosecutors, whatever, or your client, if you're on the private sector, this is the detailed stuff, and this is what it means. And the best possible way to convey that knowledge might be this way. Of course, the person doing the presentation, the lawyer, will always approach it from the way they need to approach it based on the law.
Right.
But you can give them that heads up. So that's something that is. See, look, it's hard. It's hard being. This is my first testifying on a murder trial with no training.
Yes.
And I didn't even know how to make questions here. You know what I mean?
Yes. I will give the prosecutor props, though. So I was so scared of how it was going to go. He went in there and asked those questions as if he'd been doing digital forensics for 2 decades. He was amazing. I was like, where did you come from? A minute ago, you handed me a Wikipedia page. It was great. So,
Well,
luckily.
I mean, look, what is they say? Preachers, politicians, and lawyers, which actually is a lot of overlap between all three lately. There is a lot of control of the stage and being able to act in a way and present themselves in a certain way. So it makes absolute sense to me.
He did great. So, but a little nerve-wracking, just a little.
Yeah, no kidding.
All right, so the next few topics for the podcast all have to do with Brett Shavers because he has been on a roll with his blogs and sharing of information to the community. I'm going to start with a page that he put up on LinkedIn recently that has free DFIR test images and industry tools to analyze them. He stresses that real learning comes from analyzing, comparing tools, and documenting your findings, not just collecting the data. And his key message was practice, validate, and understand how tools work, whichever ones you use. So there is a page, and I'll put it in the show notes so everybody can go to it. But on Brett's DFIR training page, there's a section for downloads with test images.
Yeah, and test images are so important. Like Brett wrote, you have this output from your tool, and it says, this is a chat. If you have no understanding of where it came from, you're going to have some problems, right? Mm-hmm. And a good way of actually interacting with your tools is you take a tool set that's known data and look at it through your tool. See if it's missing something. See where it got it from, where the tool got it from. We discussed this in previous episodes where a tool will give you, let's say, the chats, the images, the timestamp, who's talking to who, but it will not give you other fields, like, for example, is this the administrator of that chat group? And that might be important. But when you have a test image, you can see that, see what the tool shows, but then go to the source from the test image. It's data that's been already pre-populated for you, which saves a lot of time. And then see what else you might be missing from your tool, right? So experiment with those. We use, the folks that develop the Leaps, open source tooling for digital forensics for the community, mostly mobile devices, Android and iOS among others. We use these all the time, and I would hope, every time there's a new iOS, I'm hoping that Josh Hickman, makes a new iOS image, or when a new Android comes out, because they're invaluable. So many artifacts that we created to the tool based on that test data that folks like Josh Hickman put out. So I wish I was a millionaire because I would pay him just to make test data for the community.
Yeah, so his documentation is out of this world. I do test data too. I don't have it up public, but I do test data, and my documentation, like, sometimes I just forget to write down if I sent a message or placed a call or deleted something. His is spot on. It is like everything he does with the phone, including turning the volume up, powering it off. Like, he's very, very detailed in his documentation. So
before I say something else about Josh, because one of his articles helped me this week, so I take the opportunity to say that. Before that, Kevin is saying that that's why he has an archive of CTF images. Same thing, it's data that's been populated for the CTFs, and sometimes it's apps that might not be that that common, because it's good to throw some curveballs in some of the CTFs, but you learn from it, and also you support that at whatever app that is. I remember an app that was obscure. I think I mentioned it in a previous episode on a kidnapping, and nobody knew nothing about it, and I made parsers for it, and ended up being Discord.
Oh.
Which I think is a pretty popular app now.
Yeah, definitely.
But back in the day, nobody knew what Discord was. Maybe it was kind of starting to be common from gamers, some specific games, but nobody knew about Discord, and now Discord is everywhere. So you never know, right? So it's good to have those. I was going to say quickly, Josh had an article on how to look at some signal clones in a sense, encrypted chatting applications, and how you can go about getting the IVs or the initialization vectors and the different hashes, how to decrypt things to get the passwords that you need or passphrases that you need to open those databases. And I was reading his article. I was able to get some of the values from the key store in Android using tooling, and I was able to decrypt the Signal database, I can say quasi manually because I still depended on the key store, but at least able to decrypt it that way. The point with that being, it helped me in a case, because in this case, for whatever reason, none of my tooling was giving me, it was not parsing the extraction. The extraction was good. I don't know why, because I ran it on ALEAP and it ran. I just want to throw that out there. So ALEAP got all the stuff that I needed, but I was able to tell through ALEAP that I was missing Signal. So I went through the process, and Josh article and test data and all that helped me quite a lot. So nice. I guess the long story short, try to be connected to the community, read blogs like Brett's that will keep you up to date on what's going on Josh and the like, and use your forensic images that are free, test images, and try to strive to learn. Whoever tells you, I don't need training, I don't need to learn new things, the computer will do it for me, I will press a button, AI will come and do my job. Well, AI might come and do your job, and then leave you with no job. If all you do is that, right? So you gotta grow yourself. Bruno is here. Bruno.
Hey, Bruno.
That's not the Bruno I was thinking of. But hi.
Besides just the test images and tools on the site, if you just go to the D4 training site, there's also access to the blogs that Brett writes. And access to other articles. There's also upcoming trainings, a big list of upcoming trainings from all the vendors and any trainings that you can find.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. We're going to continue on with Brett because he has written like 15 blogs this week. I'm over exaggerating, but a lot of blogs since the last podcast. So there's a couple that kind of go together. There's one titled, There's a Lot More to a Trial Than You May Know, Even If You Have Testified 100 Times. And another one called, This Case Almost Made Me Quit D4. It Should Have Made the News. And Brett is recounting a corrupt case where evidence vanished. This is according to his blog. Evidence vanished, officials lied, and judges ignored the proof, yet they still won. So his takeaway in these blogs, or what I narrowed it down to as his takeaway, is in digital forensics, truth alone doesn't win. Airtight documentation and procedure do. He urges professionals to make their work defensible under pressure and invites them to his webinar on how to survive legal and institutional challenges through solid reporting and evidence handling. I'll let you go. I'll give the details of that webinar here at the end.
It's really, how can I say this? It's really tough emotionally for me because I don't want to believe that, and again, I'm going to talk from the government side in a sense, as being a representative in that sense. It's hard for me to accept that folks in positions of authority tasked with prosecuting crimes will let their biases run rampant, right? And again, I don't know the details of this case, so I'm not speaking to this case, okay? I have no, even Brett himself doesn't really tell us what the case.
I know I have 100 questions when he does the webinar. I'm hoping it's some kind of live thing.
So the article doesn't tell you what case it is. So I want to make that clear. I'm not talking about anything specific, okay? No case specific. I'm not pointing my finger at nobody. I'm just talking about in generalities, right? So it's hard for me to see that we let our biases, and that's tough because we want to say, well, I have no biases. I come against, no, biases are there, right? And if you don't start recognizing that you have biases, that you're biased in a certain way, you will not be able to fix that bias, to neutralize it. And how do you neutralize it? Part of that is what Brett's saying, is by following proper procedure, following and keeping the evidence based on the scientific way of doing things. The scientific method takes away that bias, okay? Mm-hmm. And even if you're talking about your understanding of what something means, you need to then, like science does, peer review that. Get other folks, especially folks that are a little bit distant from the case, right? If I'm going to go to the case agent, hey, what do you think about this? And the case agent is already married to the idea that a particular person is guilty. Well, what do you expect to hear? Do you expect to hear any, third unbiased opinions? Like, of course not, right?
No.
And okay, I'm not saying go and make your case public, I guess what I'm trying to say is have a support system within your labs or in your organizations when you can actually present things and expect constructive criticism and criticism that will take you to task when something just doesn't feel right. Okay.
Right.
I will say more. So again, we as examiner, we don't control the whole case. I don't control the behavior of the prosecutor. I don't control the behavior of the investigator. I don't control the behavior of the lawyers. I can only control my sphere. I want to make sure that my evidence and my procedure and my ethical manner is correct. And this is the thing for me from last year, right? Attention to detail, right? Make sure you have your probity, your moral character, and your due diligence. Those are the three main things, right? I say that because somebody might do something in your case that's not appropriate, but you have the truth on your side, right? You have what the facts are. And sometimes those errors or those misguided actions might be taken care of by the judge in a certain way, okay? And that doesn't mean that the case will flounder. Make sense? Mm-hmm. But if we have problems on one side and then problems on the other side, and then you are also a problem,
yeah.
well, the case will totally fail, right? And the idea is to make sure that the truth gets out there so the truth can actually set people free, right? Either set free the victims, right? Or set free a person that's guilty. When I say set free the victim is by giving the proper punishment to those that are guilty. That sets the victim free in a sense, if that makes sense, right? So there's freedom in truth, either
Justice.
way.
Yes.
I love that. So, but you want to make sure that you're really focused on your piece. If you see something that's not right, again, your probity requires you to call that out,
yes.
right? And make sure you interface with truth at all times. And don't go on the assumption that everybody will have those three qualities that you're striving to, because they might not. And it don't matter if it's in law enforcement, civil. We are our brother's keeper in a sense, for borrowing a religious analogy here, to make sure that the job gets done.
Oh yeah, by reading this, it sounded like a civil case anyway, too. So I mean, but may have started differently. I want more details. I need to talk to Brett about this because I read both articles and I just really want to read the entire case.
Well,
I don't know if it's available, but I would love to.
I mean, I would assume, right?
Yeah.
If it's in court, it has to be open. But
right.
Again, we'll see what the webinar says because I need to sign up. But I was going to say that. See, now I lost my train of thought. Okay. Okay, I remember now. It don't matter, right? If you're in civil court or if you're in criminal court, the system is adversarial, right? The system, the idea is to really put the two competing ideas and fight against each other to determine where reality lies, right? With a really deep and sometimes harsh contrast and clash, right, between the 2 points, right? Mm-hmm. Don't worry about that. So sometimes we worry about, well, I want to win. No, you don't. I don't care about winning. I don't care about that. The only thing I care about is for the facts. This is what happened. I follow the process. My biases are only for the truth. And when that clash happens, you don't have to be worried about it. You don't have to care, right? If you have the correctness on your side and you're presenting it in the best way possible, then things will fall where they fall, right? But that's important. If we don't do that, we don't strive to do that, our biases will creep in and we won't even realize it. It gets so bad that in some cases that I've seen in the news, either side, whatever side it's arguing for something, even when presented with facts, they still cannot accept it. Mm-hmm. Right? It becomes so personalized when we have opinions about things, right? And we feel attacked by truth when we have an opinion. Well, you don't need to have opinions, right? And don't have an opinion about it. Go for the facts. Go for what is and let it be.
Yeah, definitely. So the free webinar coming up is called Fighting City Hall DFIR Lessons from a Pro Se Plaintiff. It is Wednesday, November 12th from 11:30 to 12:30 Mountain Time. You can register for it on the site that I have up on the screen, or it'll be in the show notes if you want to go get it from there. It is free, free registration for this webinar, so check it out.
I want to say something, and again, I'm really, to me, it's totally clear. So it's been said that anyone that has himself or herself for a lawyer has a fool for a client. Have you heard that?
Yes.
Well, actually, I love it because Brett totally is the exception to that rule.
Yeah,
right?
That's true.
And if you don't know Brett, you'll be like, he's nuts, but I know Brett, and that makes sense to me. Right? he literally kind of represented himself to the process and won.
Yes.
So that tells you the type of character this guy is. So I'm really looking forward for this webinar about and what the content that he's gonna bring.
Yeah, me too. I hope I can make it while it's going on and ask questions. But if not, there's also a note on the site that it'll be still up and available to watch if you miss it at that time for 48 hours. So
there you go. Go watch it. Do it.
Yeah, definitely. All right. So again, Brett was on a roll. So we have more blogs. So I was there when digital forensics lost its soul is one of the blogs that Brett wrote recently. He's arguing that DFIR has drifted from its investigative roots into a credential-driven, tool-focused industry. Early forensics was built by investigators seeking truth. Now schools mass-produce technologists who can parse data but not interpret behavior or defend conclusions. So he's blaming profit-driven education for replacing judgment with checklists and competence with credentials. I definitely have lots of opinions on this one. You go first.
See, the thing with automation, no matter what type of automation is, I don't care if it's LLMs or not, they will de-skill you. And that makes sense, right? We don't use horses anymore, so we use cars. So don't ask me to change a shoe for a horse. That's not happening, right? And I'm being kind of facetious about it, but the point is, yeah, tools are good, right? But at a certain level, we need to make time to keep our foundational skills. Because the part that the vendors and the schools and the colleges and the degrees, the part that they don't tell you, or at least they don't do it as much as they should, is that when the abstraction, because these tools are abstractions, here's the data on one side and here's the results on the other one, and you're not looking at the data directly. The tool's abstract in the middle, right? Those abstractions will fail you. Imagine yourself, you have your data, and then you have a tool and you have AI on it and you ask AI and then you have a result. We have 4 or 5 levels of abstraction from the actual data. And if you don't have the ability to remove as many abstractions as you can, you won't be able to come to conclusions about the data that are proper, either to verify or validate the tool, or, and again, verify the actual data you're talking about. Of course, I cannot remove every abstraction. I can't be like, well, let me look at the zeros and one directly, or the electrical charges on the hard disk. And I can't do that. There'll be some abstractions I cannot do manually, but remove as much as you can. And we're not doing that. We're not teaching that. Actually, actively, I see folks in different labs and organizations arguing against foundational training. And I can't take it. It drives me nuts. If you don't want to learn foundational things, what do you want? Just where do I hit go and where do I hit print? I need you when the print or the go is not enough. When I tell you as an investigator, I have the X, Y, and Z app, you can't come to me and say, well, the tool didn't show me anything. No, I need you to go in and go get it. You need that foundational training.
Oh, the find evidence button isn't good enough? Come on.
And look,
I do.
Okay, so I'm gonna kick you from the show right now, and you're not allowed to come back until you renounce that heresy. Okay. You're a heretic. Get out of here.
I take it back. Yeah, no, I couldn't agree with you more. The foundational stuff has to be there, and I think in the blog, one of the points Brett makes that I just absolutely agree with, and I always agree with this, and I think I've said it 100 times, probably already 100 times on the podcast, is the education, the colleges. If you're going for a degree, those foundational teachings should be in your digital forensics degree. It shouldn't be stuff that is 800 years old that doesn't apply anymore, and we just haven't updated the curriculum. I just feel like we're lacking in the education department.
Well, students also need, prospective students need to be good consumers, and that applies.
Definitely.
Yeah, that applies to everything, right? Especially now. It's a degree from whatever university. Oh, I got it. Where's my job? No, you got to be a good consumer. Look at the syllabus. Go to talk to folks in the field. Hey, does this look good? Is this something that
Yes.
maps to the skills that I will need to do the job that you're doing? And do your research, real research, before you jump into a particular certification or course, because they will take your money, but that doesn't mean that what they teach you is gonna be, comparable or equitable to the money that you put in, right?
Yes. My student loan payment proves what you just said.
Well, again, good thing that you're a self-driven person,
Yeah.
so you're way beyond that degree or any other degree.
Oh, well, thank you.
And I wanna add something else also. In regards to the abstractions, I think it's a concept that folks never heard or don't think about. I think we should think about it more. The more we think about the reality of the world, which is what we're trying to discover through digital means, the more tooling, the more things we put between us and that recording or that witness evidence data, the harder it will be for us to say something that's not filtered by that abstraction. Okay? And philosophically, we need to start thinking this way, because that will make us not independent of the tools. We'll depend on them for sure, but you will be able to then look at the data in a different way. You'll be able to find avenues of investigation that the tool won't show you, because the tool only abstracts in the way that it's programmed. If you, like Brett's saying in his article, in the previous one, right? If you don't understand where the stuff's coming from, how is it stored, how the computer goes about to getting things, right? You will not know what you don't know or you don't need. For example, we've been telling some vendors in the space that we need LevelDB viewers, and nobody cared for many years because vendors apparently thought that the only viewer that we needed was SQLite.
Yeah.
And we're like, no, we need LevelDB, and we're moaning and asking, and now I can see I've seen vendors recently adding some LevelDBs.
Yep.
What does that mean? It means that if you're here listening to me and you don't know what a LevelDB is, that means that you're losing a lot in your investigations, right? The abstraction of the tool that only puts at least now they have a viewer. How many cases you had LevelDB stuff that might be useful? Well, you don't know because you didn't know what you didn't know. So again, think of tools as abstractions, which means you will always miss something if you solely depend on the abstraction. Try to get as close to the source of the reality as you can for the things that matter. Because I can already hear people saying, "Oh, Briggs thinks I have all the time in the world. Like I'm sitting at my house at work just doing nothing. I have 50 computers to go through. I get it, and 20 phones. I get it. I'm on the field with you, man and gal. I'm my hands are dirty. I did so many computers this week and phones. Anyways, but what does that mean? It means that if you think that the tool gave you something that's really important for your case, you need to go beyond the abstraction.
Yes.
If the investigator tells you, a lead of, hey, look, these apps were involved or these conversations had this content, then you have to step out of the abstraction and go for those. That's communication is important. If you have particular tasking from your stakeholder, be it your lawyers, the board of the company, or a prosecutor, again, you got to go outside of the abstraction to be able to accomplish that tasking. So at least my takeaway for this episode, think of tools as abstractions and how you need to, at a certain level, go closer and deeper to the source data to get the results that we need.
Definitely.
Sorry, I'm out of my box now.
No, you're fine. No, I have more blogs from Brett anyway. 2 more. I only have 2 more. So the next one is the end of DFIR again. So Brett says every few years people claim digital forensics is dead. First, encryption, BitLocker, cloud, now AI. None of these killed the field. Each forced it to adapt and evolve. AI, however, is different. It can create that fake evidence, deep fakes, all kinds of false fake evidence. But Brett insists that forensics will survive through its usual cycle of fear, adaptation, expansion, noting that AI won't kill forensics, just expose laziness.
Yeah, I that last part is key. It's so key, because the future, the AI, and so again, when we say AI, we talk about generative tooling, right? LLMs, things that are indeterministic, okay? That's going to be a lot of change that we don't really know how it's going to play out. And I say that because the only thing that generative AI can guarantee is inconsistency. That's just fact. And if you like LLMs and you don't like me saying that, I'm gonna say it again. It can only guarantee inconsistencies.
You're gonna get some hate mail.
More. So that's where the laziness comes in, right? It will generate an inconsistency, and the lazy person won't catch it. and then what, right? You're gonna be called out or let go or whatever. And again, that's assuming that you're using your LLMs in your investigative process or actual accessing evidence. I don't believe that we should have LLMs go through data. It's a philosophical, how can I say this, procedural standpoint. I know of tools, and I'm not criticizing tools that actually do that, like, because I don't want to be misconstrued, right? For example, I'm going to say this real quick. Yuri from Belkosoft, we had a great conversation in LinkedIn debating the pros and cons. It was so good, I think it made it to some presentations, some some presentations and some screenshots. So you put it out there, like our debate, right? And look, I'm not. We had a great, it's a debate, heated but friendly, because I like the guy and we like each other and we're colleagues. Mm-hmm. But I'm not putting hate on him or vendors that put the thing on the LLM on the tool to access the evidence. They're allowed to do that, right? Now the question is, what are you going to do about it? Do you have the procedures to do about it? And if you do, then again, you will have to account for yourself, right? My opinion is that I don't think the LLM technologies are at the point where I want them accessing directly my evidence and giving me inferences, because that's what it does, inferences from my evidence. That's my position, right? I'm not saying that I'm right and that Yuri is wrong, or vice versa. I'm not saying that. This is something that everybody needs to be knowledgeable to come to their own conclusions, until the point comes where either the community or your own organization will set some rules, right? What I would like to see, I would like to see organizations say, if you're using generative AI, it needs to be disclosed, either on the report, well, not either, on the report and through discovery methods, right? And I want to see your prompts. The prompts will be part of discovery in the same way that if I have a list of search terms, should also be part of discovery. Because take into account that this indeterministic procedure is influenced by the prompt or the question that you're making to it, right? So what does that say about me as the investigator? That should be discoverable. That's my opinion. And somebody might have a different opinion. And if the industry agrees with my opinion, then this is something that will be imposed upon you and you have to do it no matter what. But we're not there yet. So I would encourage people to think about these things. If you're going to use these LLMs, be really careful about it. Because if you're not, like Brett says, it's going to out you out in a really bad way. And if it affects your case, I cannot even imagine the repercussions, not only to you, like Heather said, but to justice itself. And we don't want that to happen.
Well, and those prompts, what if they're outside of the scope of the warrant?
Yeah. Oh, my goodness.
That should definitely be discoverable. We should not be asking AI things that are outside of the scope of a warrant ever.
Well, and I heard people saying, well, but it might be, but I was going to find it anyway. Like it was unavoidable. And I forgot what the legal term for that is. And I get that. But do we really want this all-knowing eye? I say all-knowing, but this thing that will eat up all this evidence and can lead you either astray or in a direction that's not allowed, and say, well, it's an avoidable discovery. That's a really shady, for my opinion, backdoor to the privacy rights and the controls that the judges have upon what are you allowed to look. Now, don't get me wrong. And actually, let me say something about this real quick. With abstractions again. Except my day thing today is abstractions. Sometimes our stakeholders will take our abstractions and misinterpret them and then give us certain limits, right? For example, lately I've been seeing a lot of stakeholders telling me, well, here's your extraction. I only want you to get stuff from this date to this date. Okay, so how many? So we got modified dates, creation dates, access dates. So what if 4 of the 3 are outside of the time range, but 1 is?
They usually are.
So which one am I? Is it created? But okay, what about if it's a file that has all those timestamps, but inside of the file, say a database, there's like 1 million entries with a different million timestamps, right? So how do I go about that, right?
Or the files that have no timestamp.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
there. You just have to go find it.
And it might be evidentiary, but no timestamps. That means I'm not gonna even address them. Like they're not there. They're invisible to me. And that's tough because the abstraction has kind of wrongly taught our stakeholders that, oh, everything has a timestamp and it's one, and you can filter through it and get an accurate thing, accurate in my mind of what I want, right? So it's tough, right? We need to make sure that we take those nuances up to our stakeholders so they can actually give us the proper parameters to do the search and still respect the Constitution, still respect their privacy rights of whoever or whatever it is that we're working on, right? And don't look for excuses to not follow the directions you've been giving, right? We need to think about those things. It's part of why we're here.
Definitely.
And why the LLM will never take your place if you're doing the right thing. There. There you go.
All right, last Brett Shaver's blog, and this one is my favorite. So a couple of weeks ago, Alexis put up a post about deleted artifacts marked as deleted and why it's a loaded word. And Brett got involved in the conversation in the comments. There were quite a few comments on the post, and wrote a blog about it. So this one is entitled "How to Wreck Your Report, Affidavit and Testimony with One Word." So he was expanding on Alexis's post that deleted is a loaded word. He explains that using deleted carelessly in digital forensics reports or testimony can imply intent instead of simply describing a state, which can destroy credibility in court. In technical tools, deleted may mean different things. It could mean system cleanup, cache removal, many different things, and not necessarily that the suspect intentionally deleted something. So Brett in his blog was urging examiners to use precise defensible language like previously existing or marked deleted to define what deleted data means. And the takeaway was be exact with terminology. One vague word can shift a case's perception and damage an expert's reputation. Precision in language is as vital as precision in analysis.
Digital forensics is the realm that has the most overloaded terms ever. Okay, and I picked on deleted, and I'm so happy that Brett also decided to expound on my comment, because Brett is such a great communicator, right? It's 10 times the communicator I will ever hope to be. so I do appreciate his input. Look, let's say they tell you, accusing you of deleting purposely some important piece of item of evidence from your mobile device. And they tell you deleted that information. And you're like, I didn't delete anything, right? Well, what happens if the information was contained in the record of a tab of a browser, right? Can you delete a tab in the same way you delete the history of your browser? No, I mean, you don't delete tabs. What do you do with tabs? You what?
Close them.
You close them, right? Now, the database will record that entry as deleted, right? But then that's the overloadedness of the word. When you go to court and people are not technical and they want to use the word deleted, meaning intentional user, attribution to that as a malicious thing that you're doing to obscure some activity. And the technical term actually means when data is not referenced anymore, let's say by a pointer or referenced by a file system or within the database itself, right? It's one word for the two things. Now what? We need to be aware. You can't just assume and use the word deleted without that context. That's why Brett encourages us to say more, to make it clear what the word means and how the meaning might change as the context changes. Because that switcheroo is something that lawyers and people like that are really skilled on. So if you have to understand your terminology and know what it means in one context and what it means in another. And it's not the only one. We talk about unallocated. What does unallocated mean, right? Depends on that context, right? Even when you speak about unallocated, and does it have timestamps? Well, it depends, right? If it's unallocated from the file system perspective, no, but a file might have a timestamp within it, even if it's from an allocated space that I was able to carve it out. I mean, there's a lot of nuance there, and that's why, and some training that I've gone through, they have a portion called tech terms, which I love that. They had the examiner learn a whole bunch of terms, what's unallocated, what's deleted, what's parsing, what's whatever it is, a lot of terms, and then you have to present and present those to a panel. And the panel will ask you questions about that term. And I love that because it really forces you to understand the term at a deeper level and with analogies to make that clear. And me as a questioner, I've been part of those panels, I try to break them down a little bit. I mean, not in a mean way, but kind of push them a little bit in regards to changing the context of their how they're defining something, and so I could see how they can instruct me on, oh well, it's true, but in this context it has this other additional meaning which does not apply to the discussion we're having now. Make sense? So that's something that maybe you can think of your training scenarios, add a list of 50, 100 tech terms so people can start learning to how to not manipulate, but explain better in those terms independent of that context.
Mark from Arsenal put a comment up. I'm going to put it up. I was in back-to-back depositions with expert witnesses claiming the ncase recover folders function recovered files and folders deleted by the user. They were both eventually bounced from the case.
Yikes.
I mean, as they should be. And just luckily, it wasn't one of us.
Yeah.
But they should be. I mean, understanding that, I mean, I would consider that one of the foundational things that we need to learn when we very first start in the digital forensics field, and understanding that and being able to explain it, then we don't run the risk of being bounced from the case like these two.
Well, and Mark's comment really adds what Brett said at the beginning with this, right? When he was saying you need to know your tools and actually understand when they use recover folders to describe something the tool pulled out, you need to know what that actually is, right?
Yeah.
In order for you to be able to intelligently speak about it.
Yes.
So that's the first thing. And if that the word recover and folders has a lot of meaning, the word folders has a lot of meaning within file systems, and it could be represent itself differently from file system to file system. If somebody tells you, yeah, I know what file system is because one time I did FAT16, I know everything about file systems from now on, no matter what, you're nuts, right? No, every file system is different, and what it means is different. How you recover it is different. So you need to understand what that means to your tool if you're using that tool. If not, you bounce from the case. That's a really, like you said, harsh but a fair punishment.
It is. I mean, that's the difference of somebody potentially going away to prison for a crime they didn't commit.
No, I mean, okay. Well, you're saying that this particular artifact, this tool, is user attributable.
Yeah.
When file system and the operating system, the operating system itself deletes folders around willy-nilly all the time, right? Especially on phones. For example, in iOS, if you take an app and you just updated it, and it's updated, it's fine. It takes the data folder, so where the stuff that you did was, it takes the app folder where it is. It takes a couple more folders right now. At the top of my head, I don't remember what they do. And it takes the data, nukes those folders, creates newer GUID name folders, and then puts the stuff in there.
Yeah.
Totally brand new. All those other folders that you had, or the structure you had, they're gone. When you update it, or when you uninstall it and reinstall it, all those GUID changes, right? Did I meant to do that? Did I know that my operating system is going to delete all those directories and make new ones to put different things in there? And of course, I don't know that as the user, but me as the examiner, I need to know that, because now I can go to mobile installation logs and look at a history of those folders being created, not created, and it tells me about user activity, when the app was installed, when the app was deleted, when the app was updated, and how that looks, right? You need to have that understanding. You can't just press the button and then, like Heather says, forensically guess what's the meaning of recovered folders on your tool. Oh no, that's really bad news.
I am not a fan of forensic guessing. You could do it in your office with your door closed, make that guess, and then figure it out. Don't
Correct.
Publicly announce your guesses.
For sure.
I mean, Brett, amazing writer, and we just had to cover all of the wonderful content he's been putting out lately.
Yeah, it's all love for Brett at all times.
Oh, you made it do it on the screen.
Yeah, for those that didn't see it, I also had real hearts coming out of my person here for Brett.
All right, let's shift gears and let's look at some tools. We have a tool update and a tool release that we're going to cover quick before the end of the show. So the very first is the update. Rabbit Hole had a recent update. Last podcast, I mentioned that Rabbit Hole had an announcement to make, but nobody knew what the announcement was. During our little break here before this podcast, the announcement came out, and Alex Caithness recently reported the release of Rabbit Hole version 3. The standout new feature of version 3 is its ability to recover deleted data from SQLite databases. Recovered records are rebuilt into a database so you can rapidly and effortlessly explore, query, and report on them just as if they were live. So I'm sharing my screen here, and I have Rabbit Hole up, and I'm going to open up a little database that I created earlier today. Let's see. Let me find it. There it is, passwords. So created a little database called passwords. Rabbit Hole recognizes that it's a SQLite database. I'm going to choose it and hit open. And now we have, let me do a little zoom here. Where's my zoom? There we go. Oh, there we go. So now we have the database with passwords. I have 5 passwords in my database. And if you take a look at the underscore ID, I have 1, 3, 6, 7, and 10. So that is because I deleted some of the passwords in my password database. The new feature, I'm just going to show part of it. Alex actually has a video that he did showing other features, but I'm going to show the data recovery portion. So let me back out here. So this is the data recovery portion. My database is already loaded in. So all I need to do is hit Analyze Database right up here. When I hit Analyze Database, I can pick which table I want to analyze. I only have one table in this database. I made it really simple so it wouldn't take too long during the podcast. So I'm going to pick the passwords table. Then you can see down here we have the passwords table. We have the different columns, and we have the types. So what I'm going to do next is just leave the settings by default. You can change things to have it not recover fields that have a null entry. You can use, there's a regex setting here for the text where you can set a regex on like specific data if you know what you're looking for. But I'm just going to go for perform recovery. I'm going to do no to this. It's telling me that's too general and could lead to disproportionate number of false positives. I'm just going to go for the false positives. That's where you would narrow your search a little. So now we open up into, there we go. The data now has these additional tables here. And if we look in this epilogue, because that's what Rabbit Hole named it, composite table. Let me zoom out here so you can see. We have recovered entries. We have, this is my other password, password 123. Give me your password now or else. Give me your password now. Not sharing my HBO password on this episode of DFN. It's an important one.
First of all, what aggressive passwords, jeez. But yeah, you're not revealing. Yeah, no hex passwords on the screen.
So let's see. So there are some invalid looking results from where the structure of some data in the database file matched the signatures generated, but they're not quite right. You can add validation to the signatures to reduce the number of false positives, and that's back on the previous screen. I'm just going to show you what we get without adding those filters. So I had deleted 5 passwords, and here are the 5 passwords that I had deleted, and they came right along with the timestamps, and I did all the timestamps the same. So there's another table here that contains metadata about how the records were recovered and where in the physical files they can be found. So we have here in this metadata column, you can see the data source is the database image, success, and it's found at offset 3975, page number 1. So we'll have these records here as well that help determine where they're being recovered from.
Alex is such an elegant coder. Oh my goodness.
He's good.
I love that he calls it epilogue. I bet there's some story behind it.
Oh, I'm sure.
But yeah, but the whole being like, after all this processing, look at all the things we have in this epilogue. I just love the concept. I just want to say that you didn't salt or encrypt your passwords. So I'm highly disappointed in you.
Listen, this was a nice little easy database to just give a quick demonstration. I was going to pull in a database from an extraction, and then I'm like, who knows if anything was even deleted? So I just made my own.
No, I'm just teasing. Yeah, no,
I know.
This is a great example because everybody could see or hear how the tooling really streamlines this part of the recovery process. And we always get that question: was there something else in the SQLite? Right. Well, tools like this one are such a great way of really doing that analysis, and this is something that Rabbit Hole really needed, and the amount of granularity that Alex has added to the tool, I just love it. You can really filter down and really focus on the things you need with all the different knobs and turns that he puts on the tool. So I'm really excited for it. And I'm ready to use it.
Yes, I've been testing it out, so very excited to have that. All right. So next, I want to say too about the Rabbit Hole. If you've never tried it, go on their website. I'll put the link in the show notes, but go on the website. You can get a 30-day free trial. You're going to want it afterwards probably, but try it for 30 days for free first.
See, like Mark's saying, we want real passwords, Heather. Come on,
No, I'm not doing that.
So we can get your HBO again, so we can watch all the TV shows, please.
No way. Although I'm really playing with fire with this next demo because I have my personal phone hooked up to it to show you how this next one works because I left my Android test phone at work. So
this is gonna be good. Look,
yeah.
if you're kind of newish to the show and you don't know the inside joke, you got to look for the HBO episode, and so you can follow with the inside joke. But yeah, go ahead.
You can see how they're doing stupid things. All right. Alex is released. That is the Android Logical Extractor. I think it needs a new name. But that's besides the point. Go ahead.
I think it's a beautiful, totally utility plus name, Alex. Okay. Android. What does it mean again?
It is Android Logical Extractor.
There you go. Obviously named in my honor. Thank you. Thank you so much.
So this is created by Christian Peter, and it's available for testing. He put a little note in it, so I'm going to read his little note. He's been considering for some time whether now is the right moment to make the repository public. There's still some things he would like to integrate, and if he waited for everything to be complete, it would likely take months. So there's no binary release yet. Everything's still in the early stages. So he expects that there will be bugs, and he's hoping that people that are testing it out will provide feedback. So if you test out Alex and find bugs, please report and give feedback to Christian on his GitHub page. And the GitHub page will be in the show notes. He also, I want to make a quick note, he also recognizes Mattia. So many of the Android features are based on Mattia's Android Triage. And I'll put the link to Android Triage in the show notes as well.
Real quick, Android Triage, I've used it quite a few times, is the best ADB based tooling that you will find. It will pull everything and anything an ADB can pull for you. Okay, so keep that there. The fact that now there's this interface that's been built through Alex makes it even better. So do check both out.
So really simple to run. I'm just going to do a command prompt here from the directory where Alex is, and I'm going to do Python Alex py. We'll give it an enter. Just takes a sec to open. Prior to this, I installed the requirements that were listed in the requirements txt and also platform tools. But how to do that is right in the README of the tool. So it takes away any guesswork if you're not like super familiar with using command line to install requirements. So we see here that I already have my phone. USB debugging is on. I've already trusted my device. I have it plugged into the computer. And immediately upon launching Alex, I have information about the device. Heather's Pixel 10, and then now you have all my MAC addresses and how much space I use and all that good stuff.
I love the little bar there, kind of showing how much space. I love those details.
I lost the magnifier. There it is. Okay. So then here you can choose your output directory. I have a little folder for Alex testing. We'll hit OK. And the options. So the options looks a lot like UFade, right? It looks just like UFade. But we have different options for Android. So we have save device info. We have create a PDF report of that device info. And I'll show you those because I already created them. The acquisition options. We have pull just the content of SD card as a folder. We have perform an ADB backup. We have a logical plus, which is an advanced logical backup as a zip file with the UFD file ready for physical analyzer in Cellebrite. And then we have a partially restored file system backup. Under logging options, we have logcat dump, dump sys, and bug report. And then advanced options, which I love this option, I'm going to show it, are the take screenshots and the chat capture and the query content provider. So I'm going to do the chat capture. I'm just going to...
Fancy. That's really fancy.
WhatsApp. I'm going to do a WhatsApp. And we'll just
Super
do
fancy.
Orlando. I have a chat in WhatsApp that doesn't have any messages in it. So it's my personal phone. I don't want to be sharing all my messages. People will see what I say about them.
Yeah, don't put our chat messages there because, there'll be people will be mad at us.
And now you can see. And what it's doing is it's looping through. The screen is actually moving on my phone. I can see it moving. And it's just moving through an old Orlando chat that we actually removed all the members from because we're not using it anymore from IASIS, right? But so literally you can see it moving on your screen, but I can also see it moving here on my phone. And as it's doing that, it's capturing screenshots and text files, and I believe PDFs too, but we'll check it out because it's going to be in my folder.
That's so is that I guess it works with some apps doesn't work with it. Do you know? I mean, I'm just curious because this functionality is so useful.
I've only tried WhatsApp, and I might have tried Signal as well. I've only tried WhatsApp. We'll go with because I don't remember if I tried Signal or not. So I canceled it so we could go back, and I'll show you what that looks like in the folder here. Let's see. So I put my Alex testing here on this drive, and we can see here I did everything the tool would do earlier. I did with one of them. So we have the backup ADB, the dump state. We have the I'm just going to actually open up one of the reports. Let me move it over. This is one of those reports, and you're going to see all the apps I have. But we'll go through them fast. So we've got the Alex device report, Heather's test phone, all my information, and then all the apps I have on my phone. Right? With the versions. So if we need to create some test data, we know the version of those applications.
Look, Christian says it should work for every chat app.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful.
That's can you imagine? So let's say you have a phone, you're able to get the PIN code, right? But your tool is not supporting a full file system, and what you want is a particular chat or series of chats. Just go and get it. This is so useful. I just love this. Or maybe it could be on consent, and you were told the only thing you need is this, right? Based on the judge order or whatever, you just go there and pull that out based on those instructions, right? This is amazing. This is a great functionality. I love it.
So here's where the screenshots came into a folder called screenshots. WhatsApp is what I named it. So it came into the WhatsApp folder. Orlando was the name of the actual chat that I named it. And then inside of here, let me back out. We have a PDF, a PNG, and a text version of each of those screenshots. So let's take a look at the PDF. So here we go. Oops. I've got all this stuff open on the sides here. Let's get rid of that. An AI assistant on my Adobe. I never asked for that. All right.
Look, you don't need to ask for AI to be thrown into everything.
It's infiltrating everything.
Your toilet will have AI soon enough. Don't worry about it.
Oh my gosh. So we have the device, and there's some basic information about the device the screenshot came from, the name of the screenshot, a hash value, and the app and chat as named by me. So that's the PDF version. Then you've got the PNG.
Well, I love the PDF because it's like if this screenshot has what I need, it's ready for my report straight up.
Yeah, the PDF has the additional information.
Oh yeah.
I haven't even opened a text yet. I'm not 100% sure what the text is, but Christian's in the notes. Maybe he'll tell me.
Is that a hash, Christian?
Maybe.
Because it looks like some sort of hash. But
yeah,
again,
that must be. Well, you know what?
guessing.
Let's compare it. It is. It's the hash. I compared it to the PDF. Perfect.
Look at that.
You're a good guesser.
Yeah, it's informed by experience. So I'm just gonna say that.
So we have I did each and every one of the options here. We'll open one more here. Let's look at I don't want to open it in that. That's all right. Hold on, I'm going to crash my notepad. Let's open it in Notepad++. So this one is the dump sys. And we've got it all here. We've got currently running services on the device. And just an entire log of the dump sys. Pretty neat. Pretty
nice.
neat.
Very
yeah,
nice.
I love it. Let's see if we can find. So yeah, so I know what my my Wi-Fi is here, so we can see there on the screen. I just did a search for my AnyDancer Wi-Fi, and there it is.
Oh, look at that. Look at that.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah. So awesome tool. I suggest that everybody go out and try it. It's a wonderful price right now too. You can get it really cheap. It's free.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you don't like it, Christian will give you your money back. So you're
Yes,
fine.
he will. But no, all seriousness though, if you're gonna go try it out, please report any issues that you see because we make this the best tool for the community.
Absolutely.
All right. Let me close that. And that brings us to the end of the show. So we have to do the meme of the week.
Yay! My favorite part.
Let me take this off of the screen. Here is our meme of the week. We have a Snickers candy bar, and the caption says, "Check your kids' Halloween candy carefully. Vendors tried to hide." And inside the candy bar, you can see a little box that says Chat GPT on it.
Yeah, this is a meme I made some time ago, but it's so topical for the Halloween section.
It is.
There's ChatGPT. I say ChatGPT, but LLMs everywhere, even where there don't need to be one. I don't need a chat box in my browser. Why would I want one? It's up to the point that OpenAI has made a straight up browser, which I think is pretty hilarious because, and this is my personal opinion. I don't speak for my job, but either way, none of the things we said today represent our employers. They're our opinions and our opinions only. Look, if you're trying to muscle into Google's ad revenue by making a browser, your use case for your technology is obviously not as clear as you want to make us believe.
Yeah.
But that's me being the AI critic. But yeah, no, this is true. You see LLMs being put everywhere, and folks, companies, vendors think, well, my strategy is to have LLMs. That's not a strategy. Like, a strategy is, I have a problem and I'm gonna solve it in a certain way. Just throwing LLM into things is not a strategy. It's just you throwing stuff into things, right? So a proper use of technology and actual useful use cases for it is more important than just having it, right? It reminds me of Jurassic Park. Just because you can do it doesn't mean that you should. But yeah, ChatGPT is everywhere. That's how it is, folks. Be careful when you bite your candy.
Oh, well, that's it. That's all we've got for the week.
Yeah, no. Again, thank you everybody for being here. All the folks, some folks just joined in when we're leaving, so sorry about that.
Watch it on YouTube.
Yeah, just subscribe, and then you'll know when we're going live, and you can hang out with us. Again, thank you for Christian, thank you for Brett and Kevin and Mary that I saw her there, and for Mark and all the folks. Who else am I missing? And Bruno and Forensic with Matt. All the folks that chat with us today. Your input is so valuable. We love you, and we don't know when the next episode will be. We hope soon.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Let's shoot for 2 weeks.
All right. We'll try that out, and we'll see you there. Anything else for the good of the order, Heather?
That's it. Thank you so much.
All right, folks. We're gonna finish up with the song if I can find it, and we'll see you again next time. Take care.